Hello, second grade. All right, so today on our read aloud and knowledge, we're going to learn, and for the next couple weeks, we're going to learn about immigration. We're going to read about immigration and learn some about that and how we all are ancestors of immigrants. So I'm going to jump right in. This word, if you can see that, and the C has a sound, ancestors. Ancestors. And ancestors are the relatives who came before a person. So like your great-grandfather is an ancestor. You're an ancestor of your great-grandfather, great-grandmother, or even your grandmother. Okay, you are an ancestor. So when we talk about ancestors, we talk about more, not just grandpa and grandma, but way before that, like great-great-grandpa and grandma, great-great-great. All right? So those are our ancestors, the people that came before us. Next, if you can see that word, freedom, right? Freedom. I hope they don't cancel the 4th of July stuff, because we celebrate our freedom or our independence on the 4th of July, on Independence Day. I love to go to the Laurel fireworks. Okay? Some people love to go to the rodeo in Red Lodge or the parades in Red Lodge. Okay? We celebrate our freedom or our independence. Freedom. Okay, the ability to choose. We all know what freedom means. Next word. We're going to be seeing this word a lot the next few weeks. The word is, if you sound it out, immigrants. Immigrants. Okay, immigrants are people who move to a new country. Those are our immigrants. Okay, and then we have pull factors and push factors. Okay, factors are kind of like reasons. Factors, reasons. So a pull factor is a reason that draws people towards something. Let me give you an example. A pull factor. Say you're at home and you're kind of lonely and you're hungry and you don't have any food in your house. A pull factor would be, if I go to grandma's house, she's going to give me hugs and she's going to be happy to see me. And she's going to have good food for me, and it's going to be warm, and those are factors, pull factors, things that make you want to go there. Oh, okay, right on. That's why I want to go there. Okay, pull factors. Push factors, kind of a lot like pull factors. Think of being back at your house and maybe you're cold. You don't have any food in the fridge, and you're hungry. And you're lonely, those are push factors. They're pushing me out. I want to go. Those are push factors. So there's pull factors and push factors. And those affect a lot of things, including immigration or immigrants. Okay? So all of us, at least in our class, our descendants or our ancestors were immigrants at some point or another. At least in our class. If we had somebody who is a Native American or American Indian in our class, then their ancestors may have lived on this land like hundreds of years, centuries, before the people came from Europe, okay, from like Great Britain, all those countries over there, including like South America and that sort of stuff, Mexico. All right, so ancestors. All right, so all these people came to the United States. They're all different. And now they're all, if they're in the United States now, they are one, we are one country, the United States. So I'm going to write this word on the board. Okay? Or this phrase. Let me capitalize it. Pluribus, hope I spelled that right. Pluribus unum. Okay, it's written on the board. E pluribus unum. So, this is the motto of the United States of America. Okay? Kind of a slogan. Can you see that E? Let me fix that. There, E pluribus unum. So, in our language arts, or in our skills, we've been talking about singular nouns and plural nouns. What does plural mean? Plural, pluribus. Plural means more than one, right? Many. The singular noun for hat, hat. The plural noun, hats. Okay? And since we're talking about the United States, I have my Team USA baseball hat on with the flag over here. Okay? Pluribus, many. More than one, right? Many. So it comes from a different language called Latin, and a lot of the English language and the Spanish language comes from the Latin language. It's an old, ancient language. So pluribus means many. Okay? Unum. Anybody know how to count in Spanish? Which comes from the Latin. What's one in Spanish? Does anybody know? What if we all unite together? We become one, right? Unite. And UN, unite. We all unite. The team united and became one. That was in one of our other readings. Going back to my question I asked just a minute ago, how do you say one in Spanish? Uno, right? Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Say, unum is Latin for one. So I'm just going to put one under here. And the E kind of means of or out of. Okay? So I'm going to write out of many, one. That is the motto of the United States of America. E pluribus unum. E pluribus unum means out of many, one. So that kind of means that we're a country of people who are immigrants. Our ancestors were immigrants, came to the United States of America. There are many people from many different countries, many different cultures and beliefs, and we all became one United States of America. So that is our slogan, our motto, E pluribus unum, out of many, one. Okay? And if you think about people coming from different parts of the world, I like to think about, an easy way to think about it, and I like to think about it, is maybe the kind of food we eat. What's some food that we don't call American food, but we might call other kinds of food? There's Mexican food. Mexican food like tacos. Okay, burritos. Right? We just celebrated Cinco de Mayo, and that Cinco is 5, de Mayo means of May, and that's actually how you say it in Spanish. And we usually think, if we don't eat tacos, we think about tacos or burritos or nachos or anything Mexican food. So, immigrants brought that culture, that food to the United States. So we have tacos. Another kind of food. What about people from Italy? Anybody have Italian food? Some people might say pizza, but I like to think spaghetti. Spaghetti, that's Italian food. Okay, that kind of stuff originated back in Italy, and we now can just get it whenever we want in the United States because that culture was brought here. How about, anybody ever eat Chinese food? Egg rolls. Okay, again, brought to the United States from another culture or country. Egg rolls. And we can go get those anytime we want. It's readily available in our country. Tacos, spaghetti, and egg rolls. One of my favorite foods. It's actually pronounced gyros, but it's Greek food from the country of Greece. Love gyros. I could eat them every day. All right, so these are different foods that we can enjoy in the United States because they come from, we're out of many, one, okay? So that is kind of our motto. It is the motto of the United States of America. In fact, it's on our money. Remember when we did money and math? Okay, we have the penny. How much is a penny worth? 1 cent, right? Nickel. Dime, 10 cents. We should all know this one, front and back. Quarter. And this is a $50. Okay, 50-cent piece, also known as 50-cent piece, $50. Okay, so if our motto is E pluribus unum, look at the penny. Here's the front side. It says, "In God we trust." On the back, if you look really closely in all the pennies, right here, it says E pluribus unum. Out of many, one. On the nickel, right here, E across the top, E pluribus unum. Can you guys see that? Okay, on a dime. Can you guys see it on your own? Where might it say it? Right through here, right? E pluribus unum. On a quarter? Oh, a little harder to find, but it's near the top. Right above the head of the eagle, it says E pluribus unum. And then we have the seal of the United States, which is on the back of the $50, right above his head, in that little ribbon. E pluribus unum. So there you go. Out of many, one. So we see that on all of our coins. Even our paper money has it. I'm going to set this right here. Here's a dollar bill, and we'll look at a dollar bill later, but here's the seal again. It's very similar to that, and you know, it's hard to see it on a $1 bill, but it's up in that little ribbon above his head. E pluribus unum. I don't know. It's really hard to see on video. So, all right, so I will begin our read aloud. And before I begin, though, I'd like to just go over this picture. This is your coloring sheet if you want to color. If you look at the people on here, what are they all holding? What are they all holding in their hands? They're holding an American flag, right? So they're obviously all Americans. We're all one. We're all Americans. But if you look at the picture closely, they kind of are people of different races. They're all Americans, but look at this girl. The girl in the middle. See her eyes and kind of straight hair. She kind of looks Asian. Maybe she's Japanese or Chinese, or she could be from Thailand. She could be from Korea. I don't know. She's just Asian, okay? But she's still an American. A lot of us, I believe in our class, are European, of European descent. So maybe Germany or England or Scotland or Ireland or whatever, any of those European countries over there, you know, might look more like that. Our ancestors came from there. Jace's last name is Garcia, so that's a Hispanic or Mexican last name, so maybe his ancestors came from Mexico or somewhere in that area. And then we have this guy right here. What does he look like? He's got some characteristics of maybe somebody who might be African American. Their hair, usually people from that region have hair that's kind of looks like that, okay? But we're all Americans. We're all one. And it's because we have all these different peoples from different cultures and different countries that came. We can enjoy things like tacos and spaghetti and egg rolls and gyros. If they didn't all come here, we can get all those different things. So it kind of creates an appreciation for and a liking for people of different cultures and races and religions, because we can all enjoy that right here in Roberts, Montana, even though that culture came from all over the world. So here's our coloring sheet, and there's the city in the background. So have some fun with that. And don't let me forget, I'll go over this after our reading. Got to put my old man glasses on, my nerdy glasses here. And I'll pull this picture over so you can see it. There we go. So we have the coins. I can go one page at a time here. Now, what does that look like? Looks like people. That kind of indicates that they might be on a boat. It's an old black and white picture. Looks like water in the background there. And people on looks like a dock. Okay. So here's a question you may have never asked yourself. Why would someone leave the home he or she knew, travel across a wide rolling ocean, perhaps under uncomfortable or dangerous conditions, and move to an entirely new country? Why would they do something like that? Think about that. This is one question we have to think about if we're going to understand the United States of America began and how it became the country it is today. A nation made up of many different people from many different countries. The United States is sometimes called a country of immigrants. There's that word. Immigrants are people who leave their home country to settle or make a new home in a new country. Now, you may have learned some about people who traveled from Europe to the New World, but this was long before there was a country called the United States. But there were already people living in North, South, and Central America and on the islands of the Caribbean Sea. We use the term Native American to refer to those people, like the Wampanoag or the Lakota Sioux, who were already living in North America before the Europeans arrived. Maybe you recall the Maya and Aztec people who lived in Mexico, or the Incas who spread across Peru and Chile and lands in South America. To these groups, the places they lived in were not new at all, because their ancestors or relatives who came before them had lived here for centuries, hundreds and hundreds of years already. So Europeans traveled to the New World for many different reasons. For example, Christopher Columbus came looking for a shortcut from Europe to Asia. Spanish explorers such as Cortez came looking for wealth. Okay, later more people came from Europe who were not just explorers. Some wanted to bring their religion to the people already living here. Some were poor men and women who thought there was a chance they could make money in the new land and take it back to where they came from. Okay, others were adventurers. They were attracted to the excitement of a new place. The greater number of these travelers to North and South America did not actually want to settle in the Americas. Instead, they wanted to return to their home countries after gaining some wealth or making new discoveries. So a lot of people who came here actually just wanted to come here, discover the land, perhaps make some wealth, and then go home, go back to where they came from. Much later, a group of people we call the Pilgrims were looking for a place where they could follow their own religion without being told what to believe by the King of England. Okay. Back in England, they were known as separatists, and they lived in fear of being arrested or even thrown in jail for not having the same religious beliefs as their king. In order to meet together and practice their religion without fear, they decided to leave England behind. They had hoped there would be plenty of room in the New World to have such freedom. There's that word. Or ability to choose. Choose to live and practice their religion in their own way. The Pilgrims were not the very first settlers in the New World, which we call the United States. They were important, however, because they helped set an example by doing something new and different. So what is an immigrant? What is an immigrant? An immigrant is someone who comes from another country to settle in a new place. Do you remember the question I asked you at the beginning of the lesson? Why might someone leave a home she or me want to move to an entire new country? Why might you want to leave? Okay, we talked about pull factors and push factors related to our grandmother's house, but maybe there were things going on in the country they lived in which made them want to come to the United States. Things like food shortages, not having food, or even money to buy food. Stuff like war. That's a really cool picture of a tank, guys. But war isn't really a pleasant thing. And if you have to have a tank in your backyard, then there's not good things going on. So buildings could have been destroyed because people had different religious beliefs as much. Other reasons why they might leave, if you can see that, it looks like flooding in a city. So those would be push factors, reasons why you want to leave. Okay, we talked about push factors. Okay, on the other hand, having more freedom and more job opportunities that are available than their homelands pulled or encouraged people to immigrate to the United States of America. What pull factors might you see here? It says vote no. You can vote for your leaders, right? We can vote for our president, vote for the people who control our government. Okay? These are religious symbols. Okay? We have freedom in this country to practice whatever religion we choose. Okay? Freedom. And this picture looks like people who have jobs. There's a guy with a construction helmet on. Okay, maybe a teacher, doctors and nurses. Here's a construction guy again, right? Architect, looks like a doctor. So different jobs give you different opportunities and a chance to make money in your country. All right, we're gonna move on. Here's a picture of the $1 bill. Although many immigrants came from different places and come from many different reasons, they all became part of the United States of America. Americans have come from many nations, have brought many ways of thinking in order to form one nation that allows and encourages different beliefs among people. E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. It's a good model for the United States. Or is it? Do you think it's a good model for the United States? If you look at the back of this US coin or the back of this US dollar, you can see it. But do you think it's a good model? I do. I think it's great that we have places where we can get certain foods we want. We get to learn about other cultures and other people. That's fantastic. I can go one page at a time here. So what do you see in this picture? Different families, right? Of different races, but they could all be Americans. Today's Americans are sometimes immigrants themselves, or they may come from a long line of immigrants before them. This means that some Americans have ancestors who were immigrants. In the days ahead, you will hear fascinating stories about some early immigrants. You will also learn more about the enormous risks people took to immigrate to the United States. You will learn about the many hardships or difficulties immigrants faced when they first arrived in their new country. As you will learn, it's a chance new immigrants are still taking today. So to review, what were some of the push factors? What are some push factors we talked about? Why might you leave a country? Okay, political reasons. You might not have food. There might be war. There might be floods and disasters that you want to leave and start new in a new land. Okay? It's hard to think. Many of us are Americans, and we actually have it pretty good here. If we have a warm bed and food to eat and freedom to choose what we want to do, we might not leave. But if things changed, maybe you might want to go to a different land someday. So who knows? But we're very fortunate to be Americans. We're all one. Okay? What would some pull factors that people had? Okay, we talked about the push factors, the flooding. The pull factors might be that in the United States you have freedom. Freedom of religion, freedom to choose, lots of different things. You have lots of freedoms. It's safe. There's food. So there's lots of pull factors for the United States. Okay. So today we talked about some immigration things. We have this guy right here. And for our readings, they're going to have lots of these. So if you notice, there's a dotted line. So this looks like perhaps it's maybe a part of a state or a state in the United States. So what these all are actually are kind of giant puzzle pieces. Okay. If you want to hold on to them, each day we're going to get a different puzzle piece, and then you can put your big puzzle together. I will do it right here in class, so if you end up losing it or whatever, that's fine. But I will show you the puzzle once it's completed. And what I'd like you to do is write in here with a pencil. I know there's no lines to write in, but just write a little bit about what you may have learned about immigration today, or something that you think is good about immigration, or about immigrants coming here. Or if there's something bad, you could put that there, but we really didn't touch on that. I think we're looking at, out of many, one, we're focusing on the positive because that's the motto of our country. And that is why we celebrate it on all of our coins. So I want positive stuff, okay? What you learned about immigration, or just what you learned about it. Just put it on there and you were good. And then you can either hold on to this or cut it out, but these will eventually all be big puzzle pieces. So that's it for our Read Aloud and Knowledge. Hope you enjoyed. And after this, we'll do our handwriting. Talk to you soon.